Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. I hope you all are doing amazing. Welcome to the video on the EmSAT problems explanations. I am Justin D'Souza, your math teacher, and this is my channel Best Math. And in this video, we will solve EmSAT problems. There are about 35 EmSAT problems. This is the model paper one, the first video, and I will try to do more and more problems in the coming videos. Before we begin with the problems, I will quickly talk a bit about EmSAT. Now you can see the score band varies. The maximum is about 2000 marks and minimum 500 marks are required to have a basic pass line, but most of the universities would recommend to have a higher score. It is always ideal to have more than 1000 marks, so always keep a goal of high marks. Say aim to try and get 1300 or 1500, and then if you prepare for that, you might wind up over here in your first attempt itself. So anyways, if you have already tried EmSAT and you have got low mark, please do try again. Try to aim over here, try the top marks. You can even go more than 1500, and it is definitely possible. After watching this video, you will realize it is not that difficult. And if you solve more and more problems, it is much easier. Anyways, before we go ahead, I just want to tell you about the content which might be there in the EmSAT problems. So this is one of the in one of the document in the EmSAT online MOE website. I found this. It is told that there is about 60 to 70% algebra. So these are all the concepts. You can just pause the video and look into these concepts. So these are all the concepts that are available that are from algebra, and this is the major part. So if you really want to get high mark, you must be thorough in algebra, and algebra is really easy. Once you get going, it will become very easy. So please do focus most on algebra and then even on geometry. As you can see, geometry is the next highest, 15 to 25%. The least of the content area would be in statistics. So I wouldn't recommend you to leave this altogether, but it's the least of all of these. So try your best in algebra first, and then try to go through geometry and statistics problem. And if you're finding it really hard, some of the statistics problem might drive you crazy, it's fine. Just go through glance through it, but focus more on the first and the second area, that is algebra and geometry. Now we will begin with the first problem. It starts with a statistics problem. Now this is about a frequency table. You can read the problem, and any point of time, please try pausing the video and try to solve it by yourself, and then you can see the explanation as well. So now I will start solving this. I'll read the problem first. A frequency table of temperature is created from an experiment in science class. The intervals are 0 to 9, 10 to 19, 20 to 29, 30 to 39. And the frequencies are given 7, 5, 6, 30. We need to find the interval that contains the median temperature. Median, something related to middle. Now, median does not mean the mean. So let me just take few values. Say I have 2, 4, 8, 9, and 12. Okay, these are some values. Now, if I have to find mean, I would have to add all these numbers. See, I have to just add them up all, and divided by the number of values. How many are they? 3, 4, 5. So I just divide by 5. This is the average, the mean. The median would be always arranging the set of values. You can see over here, arrange these set of values in ascending order, small to big, and count. Next, 1, 2, and from here 1, 2. The middlemost value would be the median. That is about median. Okay, so mean and median are not the same. But this is very easy if you could arrange the values, if you have been given a set of values. But look over here, this is not such problem. It is something of frequency table. So whenever you have frequency table, you can't use this. You can't count the middle value by putting it in ascending order. The method is entirely different. So let me do the method now. How the method is, first you need to make a table. Okay, let's make this table. And here, this is the interval. Let me just write the intervals. It is from 0 to 9, and then we have 10 to 19, and then we have 20 to 29, 30 to 39. Okay, so now here, this table, frequency is already there. Frequency is not of use. You can't find anything from frequency table. It is from the cumulative frequency. Cumulative frequency is very important. What this means is, just by adding all these, add these one by one, not all these, sorry, add one by one. It's not just finding the sum and using that as a value. That is absolutely wrong. Sometimes, you might just add all this and write that value over here and then find the median. No, that's wrong, because it might work for some problems, but that's the wrong method. The method which I'm doing is the exact method now. So cumulative frequency, the first one remains same, it's 7. But what is the second value? Here, 7 plus 5 would be equal to 12. You basically add them up. Now add the first three values to come over here, or add 12 plus the next value. 12 plus 6 is 18. And lastly, for the last one, you need to add up all the four values. It would be 30 plus 1, 31. So this is how you get this cumulative frequency table. Now, still it's not over. We have found the cumulative frequency. We have the intervals. What next? Let me just write over here a formula. N plus 1 by 2. Whenever you have cumulative frequency, you can use this formula, and wherever the n value is there, that is the cumulative frequency in n, will give you the median of interval. Now it's confusing. Let me solve it up. That time you'll understand better. So let me just use this formula. What is this n? N is the total number of sum of frequency. N would be sum of all this frequency number, that is 31, or the last value in the cumulative frequency. So 31 plus 1 divided by 2 would be 32 by 2, that is 16. So now this is an important value. Where is 16 here? 16 is somewhere over here, right? Now don't think, oh, whichever it's nearby, you take that. No, it's not like that. Always, whatever the n value we get, you need to go below this, not above. So 7 are the first interval, only 7 values. 12 values correspond to 10 to 19. And to come over here, the 18 values, see, after 12, 16th value would correspond to 20 to 29. So frequency is 16, right? So from 12 to 18, it is 20 to 29. So remember, even if the value n was 13, it would be this one. This would be the interval. Okay, why? Because all these, any value after 12, that is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, would correspond to 18, that is 20 to 29. So now here, this value, whatever you solved, right, the 16, would give you the approximation to where the median is in the interval. So where is 16? Here you should go to the next value, that is 18, right? What is the interval at this range? 20 to 29. So this is your answer. That is how we solve this problem. That's the answer. I hope this is clear. You can just rewind the video and go through it, but please remember, interval is over here. The cumulative frequency means summing them all up, and then this formula n plus 1 by 2, that is 16, and then see what is the value. Okay, if it was 16 here, then you should take this one, but there is no 16. 16 falls in between 12 and 16, so you should just go below the next higher value. Even if it was 13, you should go higher value. Okay, so that is how 20 and 29 we get it. So this is the method. Whenever you see frequency table, you have to follow this method. Next, now there are some shortcut methods, so you can follow using rational adding or subtracting rational functions, but you can solve this in calculator as well. What I will do is, Some of these videos, if you want in-depth explanation, I have already done the videos, the lesson explanations. So I will tag it in the description. So for the question 2, I will put a link. You can click over there and you can go for the in-depth video. But now I will tell you the shortcut methods over here, which can be used even in EmSAT. You're allowed to take this calculator, the scientific calculator, so please do take it. And you can easily solve this up by typing it as it is: 2 divided by alpha x plus 3 minus 3 divided by 4 minus x is given by, this is the variable x, alpha, and the symbol over here. And you need to press equal to is over here, that is alpha and calc. And now type this as it is: 2 alpha x minus 2 divided by alpha x squared minus alpha x minus 12. So just press shift and solve. You will get the answer -1. So once you press shift and solve, after this typing all the values, press shift and solve, and then do press equal to, and then you will get the answer. So the answer is -1. So this is the answer. There is also another way. You can try substituting this value back over here, and both the side must be balanced. Or the actual way you can find in the description where it is explained in detail. So here now we are going to a problem where we cannot use calculator. We have to solve this by using identities. So you must remember these identities. I hope you remember them. So even for this, if you want in detail explanation of all the different type of identities, I will put a video in the description. Please click on that. It's about special products. Now here, look at the question. The question you can see is y minus x divided by y squared minus x squared minus y squared. So the obvious method would be keep the numerator as it is, the above term. This can be solved by using this identity. It's a squared minus b squared. Instead of a, we have x squared minus y squared. Use a plus b, a minus b. That is x plus y, x minus y. Okay. Now what happens? Can you cancel the numerator and denominator over here? No. We must use a rule that says if you want to change the sign here, if there is 1 plus and minus, just take a -1 outside. So what happens is the sign changes. So x instead of negative becomes positive and y becomes negative, divided by x plus y, x minus y. Now you can cancel x minus y and x minus y. So what happens? It is -1 divided by x plus y. This is the answer. Which is the correct answer here? It would be this one. So it is -1 divided by x plus y. So please remember to apply the identity. If it was anything else, apply the other identity accordingly. Use simple simplification and you will get this answer. Very easy. So that's how we solve that. That is the answer 1. Okay. And next one. Okay, what about this? Aisha calculated the area of a piece of paper to be 50.27 centimeters square. The actual area of the paper is 55.42 centimeters square. What is the margin of error in calculating the area? Now, there is a formula to be remembered for margin of error. So I'll write E, say I'll just write it over here. E equals original value minus, sorry, this is the margin of error, percentage, margin of error, O minus actual divided by O. This is just for you to understand, okay, or any other thing. Original is the, okay, now I've done the wrong thing. Let me just change that. Actual is the original value. Instead of writing O, I'll write A, actual, minus the measured. Measured is what has been measured, divided by actual. So you just need to understand whatever is the original or the true value, it can be written as t as well, must be written first. That is 55.42 minus the erroneous value. This is the measured value, right? 50.27 divided by again the actual or the original or the true value, 55.42. This is the formula. So always margin of error is given by this. So all you need to do is calculate it. That's it. Put it in the calculator over here. So you have 55.42 minus 50.27 divided by 55.42. The answer is, it's 0.0929. Now, which value does it correspond to? This is wrong, this is wrong. These two are very close. But look carefully, it's not too it's see, when you round off, what happens is 9 becomes, increases this number. Instead of 2, it will be 3. So this would be the correct answer, not the below one. Okay, because you need to round it off to 1000. So that's why this would be the correct answer. Why? Because it was 29, which will become 93. That's the answer. Now then, we will go to the next problem here. What do we have over here? Which rotation about its center will map a regular decagon onto itself? It's a geometry problem. Now, the best and easy way is understand how much is the sides. What is the sides of this? Sorry, I went back. Okay, this one. Decagon. Decagon means 10 sides. You must always remember this. Decagon is always 10 sides. Now, here, let's say there are so many degrees. These are not going to help us, but understanding will help us. Now, if it was, say, a triangle, what is the total? How would I find the angles over here? I could understand this would be 60, 60, 60. Now, if it is a huge angle, okay, no, the best way would be understand a circle. If you have 10 sides, that would be just changed over here, right? This would be made into 10 sides. So you need to move one side and it will be shaping onto itself. Like what I mean is, now this is a triangle. When will it shape itself? When I bring this up over here and this is down and this goes over here, right? I have to turn it all. Now this thing, decagon, is a 10 sides. So how will I get the same side? It is not that easy, but we need to find the sides of all these, right? What is the angle, interior angle? So basically, we know it's 10 sides. The total angle is 360 divided by 10. That will be 36 degree. Why? The total angle divided by 10, 360 by 10 will be 36. Now, you must understand, for every turn in 36 angles, if you draw a decagon, it's very hard to draw a decagon because there are 10 sides. Imagine this is a decagon, which is a very bad decagon. So every time you take 36 degrees, what happens? It will map onto itself. Just imagine you're turning this like this and you will get the same decagon itself. Now, if I turn this by 60 degrees, what happens? This triangle becomes a triangle only. This comes up and everything happens, right? So this is the thing. If I move by 36, I'm going to map decagon itself. So 36 would be the answer, okay? If you understand it properly, like a circle is 360 degrees, now 10 sides, so it'll be 36 degrees, right? But here 36 is not there, so how do I find? It's not only 36, it can be any multiple of 36. It can be, say, 36, yes, or it can be 72, or you can just start multiplying 36. So we will do that. You can just use a calculator, or there's another way. You just divide these by 36. So let me try. 54 divided by 36. I must get a whole number. No, decimal doesn't work. This is wrong. So let me do 162. Is it correct? No. Again, no. So let me do 198. No, I'm getting a decimal now. Then this is the correct answer, 252. Yes, 7. So that means 252 is a multiple of 36. So if you move this decagon by 252 degrees, it will map onto itself. Or if even if you move by 36 degrees or 72 degrees or multiple of 36, it will map. But we do not have the option of 36 or 72. So any multiple of 36 is the correct answer. This is the answer over here. So that's how we solve this problem. Geometry. Geometry requires understanding reasoning, so then you can easily solve it. Now here again, geometry. In this diagram below, the right angle ABC has legs whose lengths are 4 and 6. Okay. What is the volume of the three-dimensional object that is formed continuously rotating? Okay, so this is about rotating problem. Um, you might have this in your term for grade 12 advanced students in your term 2, term 3. You might come across such problems as well. But this is a pretty straight problem because they have given all the dimensions and they have told it's continuously rotating the right angle triangle. Okay, so what happens is when you rotate this continuously along this line, see this is an important line, AB line, you will get something like this, a cone. So what is the volume of a cone? They have told to find the volume, right? If you know 1/3 pi r square h. Okay, now the thing is I'm a bit rusty with these formulas. um, I think so this is the right formula. Let me just try. Yeah, most probably it's right. So 1/3 is 1 by 3, pi remains. What is the radius? See, now this is rotated along this axis, so the radius would be this one. This would be the entire thing would be diameter. The radius is half of this, 4. So r is 4 square multiplied by height over here would be 6. So you must get the answer over here. Let us use the calculator and solve. So 1/3 of pi multiplied by 4 square into 6. So 32.32 pi, yes, that's the correct answer. So just use this formula. Okay, you need to know the volume of cone because this is like a shape of cone, right? So volume is given by pi 1 by third pi r square h. So this is it. If you're thinking, where did we solve, how do we remember this? In your grade 9, you have to know the three-dimensional shapes, volume, area. So these are the formulas. So it's better to know some of the formulas and then you can easily solve this up. So that's how we solve that. And now, how are these figures related? This is very simple. You can try pausing the video and checking it out. I hope you have tried, at least some of you. The answer would be reflection. Why? Because it is reflected along which where? It is reflected along this line, I guess. Wait, let me see. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, about this line. So it will be reflected along this line. You can see this is the reflection axis, so at -2. Now another way to understand, okay, what about rotation? Now whenever rotation happens, the figure changes. If this is the, I mean, figure change in the sense it'll be sticking like this, okay, something like this. Do you get it? Something like that. Now, if it's a translation, it does not change its shape. See, you can see this is a reflection of this. This part is over here, whereas it's going back, like in the mirror, it's reflected. Whereas translation, here it will be the same image, just translated, okay? It should have been same, exactly same. This would be backside, and this is the thing. Exactly same. And dilation would either change it, make it big or small. So you can easily eliminate all these and you will come to know the reflection is the correct one. Now, what about this? They have told to, show the inverse of the equation. Okay, they have told you to tell you the inverse of the equation. Now, which is this equation? This is exponential, isn't it? So which is the exponential graph? Exponential graph is over here, this one. So this is the exponential graph. It goes like this and it keeps on going. But they want the inverse. So this is a very important word, inverse of that. So this is wrong graph. What is inverse of exponential? It is logarithm, isn't it? So which is the logarithm graph? This is not logarithm graph. This is not logarithm graph. This is the logarithmic graph, which cannot go less than 0. So it's very, very simple. If you understand the standard form, you know this is exponential e power x, or it can be log or natural log. This is any number power x, a must be greater, exponential graph. This is the answer. But no, they want the inverse. Inverse of exponentials is logarithm. So answer is A. That's it. Now, what about over here? Sorry. What is the length of AC? Let's see this. Where is AC? This one. Provided they have given you AD, DB, and DE. Okay, this is very simple. These are similar triangles. You don't need to prove they are similar triangles, but just look. Okay, anyways, let us prove because it's important to know. Now, just by looking at them, you can understand this is similar. Why? Because they have a common angle. They have alternating angles, and these are all the angles are same. So if all the angles are same, they are similar. SSS postulate, sorry, AAA postulate. Or you can also, yeah, that's more than enough. But now, what is the proportionality? If they are similar, you can see, I'll take this point as beginning. This side BD divided by the total side of the original, the bigger triangle, okay? BD divided by BA must be equal to, say, the small triangle's one side. So this is a small triangle, that is BED, and the big one is ACB, okay? So the small one DE divided by the big side, that is AC, big triangle side. They must be proportional sides. Now look over here. If I'm using BD first, the small triangle, okay, this one, let me just change the color over here. Let me just make it blue. So over here, if I'm using the small triangle, then make sure the small triangle is up. Even in the next proportionality, the small triangle should be up. Now, if you take the bigger angle first, then BA will be up, then AC must be up. That's it. Now you can just substitute the values, isn't it? We'll directly substitute over here. What is BD value? BD is given to be, DB is 12 divided by, what is BA? We know AD is 24 and DB is 12. So add them both up, it will be 24, 36. Equals, what is D? D is 4 divided by AC is unknown. This is what we have to solve. You can just do cross multiplication and solve, or use a calculator. This has X value and you can solve it. AC equals 4 multiplied by 36 divided by 12. 12 one time, 12 three times. 12, 24, 36. 3 times 4 is 4 times 3, or 3 times 4 is 12. The answer is 12. This is the answer. That's how we solve it. I hope this is clear. Proportionality. Remember, similar triangles will have congruent angles and the sides are proportional to each other. Corresponding sides. That's the term I was thinking of the term, but it just didn't come to my mind. It's the corresponding sides are proportional to each other. That's how we do it. Now let's go to the 10th one. Okay. Now, these are easy, but it's a bit of, you might get confused on this. Let's solve this. Suppose that I get you root 7 by 3, comma, y is a point in the quadrant 2 lying on a unit circle. Find y. Unit circle problem. So let's first draw a quadrant over here. Let me just draw. The first quadrant is over here. This is the second quadrant I'm talking about. So x value is minus, yes, obviously. So somewhere over here is negative root 7 by 3. Wait, root 7 is less than 3, right? So it's a fraction. It's less than 1, I believe, because root 7 is less than 3. So it is lesser value divided by 3. Lesser value than 3. Anyways, that's not important. You can put in the calculator. So this is 1 point. And what about y? We don't know. We have to find y. Let me just assume y is somewhere over here. Okay, y. Now, since this is a unit circle, let me draw these two lines. Let me join this. Oh, that's bad. Okay, okay. So here, what is this? This is 90 degrees. So if you look carefully, this is going to be a Pythagoras theorem problem, isn't it? Now, what is this dimension? We have this value. What is this radius? That is going to be 1 because it's unit circle. And what is this? This is y, unknown. So now what I would do is I would just use the Pythagoras theorem. See, because they mentioned unit circle, we can use directly Pythagoras theorem. That would be 1 squared, that will be equal to, don't put this negative because we are just using the dimension, whole square plus y squared. Now you just take this to the other side and take the square root of 1 square minus 7 by 3 the whole square. It'll be 7 by 9 over here. Anyways, just use the calculator. I've taken square root on both the sides and moved this to the other side. So what's going to happen here? All you need to do is square root 1 square minus root 7 by 3. It's always better you use the bracket over here. Square, I know even with the bracket it gives you the answer, but it's always good to use bracket. Now you can see it's a root 2 by 3. That's the answer. So this is how we can easily solve the unit square problem. You need to understand which quadrant it is. This is the second quadrant, first quadrant, second, third, fourth. Always remember, this is the cast diagram. Over here, CAST, you write it. Or now we are not dealing with trigonometry. We're just dealing with the quadrant. One, this is the second quadrant. This is third, and this would be the fourth quadrant. So just remember, and then see the values over here. Just take the value and then solve it up. Let's go to the next one now. That's the answer, root 3 by 2. Root 2 by 3. Identify the image of point 4 comma minus 2 after dilation of 3. Dilation means you're just increasing. See, the scale factor is given over here, the dilation of 3. That means whatever is this value, you need to multiply by this. Just simple multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times minus 2 is minus 6. So this is the answer. Very straightforward. What about the next? I hope this is clear. There's nothing much in this, just multiplying. If it was, say, half, you just multiply these by half, and so on and so forth. Now here we have about rhombus. Rhombus has diagonals with length 16 and 30. What is the length of the side of the rhombus? Okay, this is interesting. Now, grade 10, this is the topic which you will study in grade 10 term 1. Let me solve this here. Okay, before I begin, I hope you guys know what is a rhombus. A rhombus is similar to a square, but it doesn't have, say, it has all its sides equal, but it doesn't have all 90 degrees. So that is the main huge difference of rhombus. But there's one property of rhombus which is very important to know. The diagonals always are perpendicular. So diagonals are perpendicular in the sense they'll be always 90 degrees formed. So again, you can use Pythagoras over here, isn't it? So the diagonal over here is 16. So let me take this as 16. That would be 8 and 8. They bisect. And here 30 would be 15 and 15. So the diagonals do bisect. And here we have 15 and 8. And now what is the side? If I find one side of the diagonal, it's enough because all the sides are equal. So using Pythagoras theorem. So x, what is it? X squared would be equal to 15 squared plus 8 squared. That is 225 plus 64 root. X would be equal to root of 15 squared plus 8 squared. Let me just use the calculator to find the answer. Here all you have to do is 15 square plus 8 square. Answer is 17. That's the answer. Very straightforward problem. I hope you understand. Always remember, for the rhombus, the diagonals bisect and they are perpendicular to each other. So bisection means it'll be cut into half. So 16 would be 8 and 8. This 30 would be 15 and 15. You have to find the side, use the Pythagoras theorem formula, and it will be easily solved. Now we move on to the 13th problem then. I hope now, if you're all stuck with me for so long, well and good. I hope you're learning all the MSAT problems. What I would suggest is once you watch the video, to try pausing the video and solve it by yourself, write and study and solve more problems. If you just watch the video, it is not enough. Now we will come over here. If measure of angle A is 35 degrees, B is 3 and A is 4, how many different triangles can be constructed? So this is about law of sines and cosines. So how do we solve this is whenever they ask you how many different triangles, all that stuff, there is, I think so, a table where you can just memorize the angles and the lengths, and that will give you the exact, one obtuse, one right. But see, I can't remember that. I really can't remember it. So what I would do is we can easily solve it. So best to draw a triangle and understand what it means. Now, imagine I'll take this as A. You can take B and C, anything. Now, but if this is B and this is C, it is important to know a few things. What is A angle? 35. Now, the opposite side, see, opposite side of angle over here is the small a, and that is given as 4. Now here, if this is B, the opposite side over here would be this B, that is 3. It's given B is 3. And this would be small c, which is not given, so no need. If you are taken B over here, this would be the opposite one, B. Doesn't matter, whichever it is. Now we need to find any one of the other angle, and then we can tell whether it's obtuse right or, any what can be done. So how can you find the angle? I know two sides and one angle, so I can use law of sines. So sine A divided by length A equals sine B divided by small letter b. That's the side. So what is angle A? It will be sine 35 divided by A is 4. That must be equal to sine B, which is unknown. What is B? 4. Now, I'm not going to go and solve this manually. Let me just use the calculator and you can solve it easily. So all you need to do over here is just use it like this. Sine. See, I'm not going to change it to radians because I need degrees, right? I have degrees. So I'll leave it into degrees only. 35 degrees divided by A is 4. That is equal to sine B is unknown value X divided by, okay, I've written wrong, sorry, this is 3, okay, that's 3, so that's supposed to be 3. Let me just change it. Okay. That's 3. And now here all you need to do is shift and solve. That's it. What's the answer? It's 25.47. I'll just take it as 25. Okay, so I will 25.5. Let me take it as 25.5. So let me write the angle of B. This B over here is, let me take it as 26. Doesn't matter. Now look at this, 25, 26. What is the other angle? So it'll be 180 minus 20, 36 minus 26, 35. Sorry, this is 35 and 26. You can use your calculator and solve it up. 180. Okay, this is a very simple calculation, but anyways, I'm just using this to show you guys. It's 119. So if one of the angle is more than 90, what is it called? Is it acute? No, acute is something which has all angles less than 90. Now, one of this angle is more than 90, that would be obtuse. If any one of the angle is 90 degree, it would be right angle. So no triangles can be constructed is wrong, because we can construct a triangle. Two triangles, that is no, it's only one triangle because only one details are given. Now here it is one obtuse, but if it was acute, then yes, you could have constructed more. But now in this case, 119 would make it an obtuse triangle and only one. So this is the answer. I hope this is clear. Just remember this, always remember to draw it out and then solve it up. So that's the law of sines, and we will go ahead over here. Now this is another easy problem. You don't need to do it manually because you have your calculator with you. Just solve it directly. It's root 27. Sum is what? not multiplication, it's plus. Okay, sum is adding, addition, add 108, root of 108. What's the answer? 9 root 3. So that's it. Very, very simple problem. Now we come to a little bit not difficult, it's a simple one only. Here they have told the line segment A dash B dash has endpoints at given points over here, and the image of A after dilation of half centered at the origin. Okay, what is the length of AB? Now always remember, whenever there is dash, that means it's the dilated image. Original image or the pre-image is given by AB. Now they are mentioned over here, this line of this after dilation, that means this is the dilated. Okay, now this is little important to know. Why? Because we are not finding dilated image, we are finding the original image. Let me get it clear, because I'm a little bit confused on this problem when I'm reading it, because they have given you the dilated image. Imagine there was an original image like this, dilation is half, so the dilated image will be smaller, right? But they have given the dimensions of this, okay, A dash, B dash, C dash, the dilated image. They want you to find original image with this. So what you need to do is you need to multiply 2 to these dimensions. Multiply 2. Why? Because original image was dilated by multiplying half. This is, if this was 10, the dilated image becomes 5, right? Now you have the dilated image, you need the original pre-image, so multiply by 2 will give you 10. This is what it means. Let us solve this now. Let me do it step by step. So I'm not gonna take a coordinate and everything, okay, because we just need the length of AB. So the distance formula is required, but A dash is equal to what? 4 and minus 2, right? So what will be A equal to? Multiply 2 to this, because dilated was half the original. Now if you want to find the original, you need to multiply this by 2, so it will be 8 and minus 4. Okay, same way, what is B? B would be 32 comma 28. Now use the distance formula. How do we find the distance formula? We have to use square root of x2 minus x1 the whole square plus y2 minus y1 the whole square. Now all you need to do is type the values as it is. Now you can, x1, y1, x2, y2, distance formula, very simple. Now here you can even interchange this as x2, y2, x1, y1. Answer will be same, doesn't matter. But let me take it how I've written now. It is 32 minus 8 the whole square plus y2 is 28 minus 4 the whole square. You can just put this entirely in calculator, or you can solve it manually over here. 32 minus 8 will be 24 square plus, this will become plus, it will be plus 32 square. So okay, that's it. I can't go further. Direct calculation, it's going over my head. So 24 square plus 32 square, what's the answer? It's 40. That's the answer. I hope this is clear. The only trick part over here is they have given you dilated coordinates. The scale factor of the dilation was half, but they want you to find the length of original. So when you find the coordinates, original coordinates, make sure you multiply by 2, because these are dilated. From original, they were multiplied by half. To get the original, multiply by 2, make it bigger, okay? And that's the answer. Answer is 40. Now we will go to some of the complex numbers. Where is it graphed? Okay, this is another interesting problem. You need to know which quadrants these are in. You have to remember Argand plane. Argand plane is something like this. You will have a, just like a coordinate plane. It's just that here it is I, here it is real numbers. So imaginary numbers are in the y-axis, x-axis has real numbers. So you can understand even another way. Now first point is always considered as x and y. So we write the first one as real, okay? Generally when we write a complex number, real and imaginary. So let's solve them first. They have told the sum, right? Sum means add them. Add the real and real part, imaginary and imaginary part. 3 plus 6 is equal to 9. What about the imaginary? 2i minus, plus and minus is minus 4i, that is minus 2i. Now we have 9 minus 2i. Where is 9? Real number 9 positive. This is positive, negative numbers over there at the left. 9 is somewhere over here. Where is minus 2i? Somewhere over here, minus 2i. All have I. Okay, minus I, 0i, 1i, 2i, and so on. Somewhere over here. So now they don't want you to, just okay, anyways, 9 minus 2i. They don't want the graph, they just want to know the coordinate quadrants. First, second, third, fourth quadrant. So over here, this is in the fourth quadrant. So the answer is A, the fourth quadrant. I hope this is clear. Just find this sum and then plot the point exactly. Now then we will go to the next one. Okay, this is an easy one. So simplify. Okay, not easy. I mean, if you are good with numbers, it's easy, but you need to understand few things. Okay, let me explain this in a bit of detail because this is very important. I is crucial. So here, I to the power 37. But before that, let's understand a little bit of I. What is I exactly? I is an imaginary number that is -1. Now, what about I square? If I do square of root -1 multiplied by root -1, that's what square means, right? Multiplying 2 times. Square root cancels off, you're remaining with -1. What about I cube? That means I'm multiplying I 3 times, this multiplied by 3 times. So you're remaining with I, and 2 times I square is minus, right? -1, so I'll just multiply here minus. Okay, and what about I to the power 4? It would be 2 times I have to multiply -1 into -1, that would be +1. So these are the 4 things. Now what about I to the power 5? I to the power 5 can be written as I power 4 into I. And what is I power 4? It's 1. So it's gone, dissolved, only I. So I'm going to continue the same pattern. If it's I to the power 6, I can write this as I power 4 and I square. So you know what is I squared. This is going to be 1. So if I have any multiple of 4, so if I have I power 8, I power 16, these are all going to be 1. Why? Because I power 4 is 1. So now what about this? Find the multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 36. I know until 36 it's divisible by 4. Less than 40, more than 36. So I36 can be written as, sorry, I37, right? We have got, it can be written as I36 multiplied by I. So the value would be this, all will be dissolved to 1 multiplied by I. So this is the answer, I. That's it. So the first one, I. Now there's another way to solve it if you're getting confused. Like how can you easily find it if it's a huge number? Don't worry. Use the calculator. Here, 37, right? Divided by 4. So it's not divisible. Just change the number. Go to the previous number. Change it to 1 previous, 36. So it's divisible. So how much did you go back from 37? 1, right? So we know 36 is divisible over here. So it's 1. Until I36, it's 1. And only 37, 1 I remains. The same thing can be done over here. What you can do is, if it's another number, say 177, just divide it by 4. Okay, no. So reduce this number by 1, 76, it's divisible, so it's I. How about if it was 74? No, I'll reduce it by 1. Let me go to 73. Again, no. I'm going to do 72. Now, yes. So two numbers it's behind 2 numbers. So it'd be I square. I hope you get the gist of it. So just see the multiples of 4 and then just add the remaining one. That would be the answer. So this is it. And if it was, say, I squared, this would be the answer minus 1. If it was I cube, it would be minus I. And if it was I to the power 4, it would be 1. So this is it. We will go to the next one over here. Oh, probability problems. Now, these are interesting. Let's read this. There is a 3 by 5th probability of rain on Sunday. The probability that it will rain on both Sunday and Monday is 3/10. If it rains on Sunday, what is the probability that it will rain on Monday? So now these are unrelated to each other. So the formula is very simple over here in such probabilities. It is, say, I'll take probability of both the days is equal to probability of rain on Sunday multiplied by probability of rain on Monday. Okay, this is what it means. Now, the probability that it will rain on both the days, see, both happening is equal to both the individual happening just multiplied. So it's, we know both days probability is 3 by 10. What is the probability it will rain on Sunday? It is 3/5 multiplied by the probability of Monday. We don't know this. We have to solve. Take it to the other side. It will be 3 times 5 divided by 10 times 3. So 3 cancels, 5 one time. 5 two times, it should be half, 50%. So the answer over here is this one, 50%. Just remember, when there are, the thing is, I'm not getting the exact terms because I'm just doing it all at once. I glanced at this papers before. I found it, I can do it at once. So I'm just doing it now. But I'm not getting some of the exact technical words. But this is a certain condition when, like probability of rain on Sunday, it is not affected by the next day, or these are not affected, so they are independent. Yeah, independent variables. So independent probabilities are just multiplied each other, and you'll get the answer. So this is the formula. Probability of both Sunday and Monday is equal to probability of Sunday multiplied by Monday, and you'll get the answer. We move on to the next question, that is the 19th question. You can see here we have two equations. These are system of equations and we need to solve them. Now there are some trick methods, like if you have options, you can put the options in, say put this x value over here and y value, and you must get the correct answer. Now, since there are squares, see what happens is, even though some might be wrong, you might get the correct answer. So you can avoid that by putting x, say put this root 3 square and keep this as unknown and solve for it. You should get -2 in both the cases. Even try this, put this -2 as y, and you should find x. In both the cases it should be root 3. And similarly, if you do the other options, only one will be correct and others will be wrong. But still it is a problem to find what's no solution and everything. So the best and the easy method is to solve these. I know there are shortcut methods by trying it, but it is not 100% reliable. So I would personally suggest you just solve these. How do you solve them? Very easy. Now, over here you can see these are the two equations. Various ways to solve it. One of the easy method is just take an easier equation. Now I can see this one is easier. If I take this minus to the other side, it becomes positive, right? So what I'll do is I'll just write x square equals 5. I can just write y, because when y over here moves to the other side, what happens? It becomes plus, so it is y plus 5. Now this can be substituted in the first equation, this one over here. So what do you get? You will get, instead of x square, what do you have? The first part is y plus 5 plus y square equal 7. What happened over here? This x square is equal to y plus 5, isn't it? So don't put a square on this. It is just x square is equal to y plus 5. So I've substituted over here, and then we have y square and 7. Now simplify this, it'll become y square plus y. First I'm writing the highest degree, next this, plus 5 minus 7 equals 0. So it is y square plus y minus 2 equals 0. Now you can easily simplify this by using calculator. Here just click on mode, then this is an equation, that's a quadratic equation, so it's 5, and quadratic equation is solved by 3. Now type in the coefficients. What's before y square? It is 1. Before y is also 1. And what is before minus 2? It is, sorry, the last term should be written as it is, the entire number. What are the answers? X equals 1 and minus 2. So this y value is 1 and minus 2. Let's see this. Let me just write it. So over here, what should I write? Y equals 1 and y equals minus 2. Now it can be this answer or this answer. So this is wrong. Is there 1 and minus 2? No. And there is a solution, so this also is wrong. It's not undefined. So now how would you solve? If there was imaginary numbers, then we can say no solution. But this is wrong now. How do we get the correct answer? So you need to substitute these values back here and solve for x. That's it. You know the y values, right? Let's substitute it over here. So here now, x square plus, instead of y, I'll substitute any one of this value now. First I'll substitute 1 square equals 7, and here I will solve the same thing, x square plus minus 2 the whole square equals 7. What did I do? I just substituted instead of y these two values. Now let me solve here. What's going to happen? It's going to be x square equals 7 minus 1, x square equals 6, x equals root 6. Now what happens over here is x square equals 4 plus minus 2 whole square is 4 equals 7. X square equals 7 minus 4 will be 3. X equals root 3. Now here this is minus 6, whereas we got positive 6, and here it is root 3, and this is the correct answer. So we can eliminate this. I don't need to try it in the other step. Over here only I got it. Okay. Now don't think it's root plus or minus. No, if it is only root 9, when you solve this, it'll be plus or minus 3. If it is just root, we don't write plus or minus. So don't think this is plus or minus. So minus is no. Only if you are solving it. Okay, now when we just put the square root, over here what do? We take square root on both the sides. This and this cancels. X equals root 6. That's it. There is no minus here. See, there is no minus. So it should have been plus 6, which is wrong here. And so the first one is the correct answer. And it's much easier and much better if you stick to this solving method. And the method which I just showed you can be used to solve any of the system of equations. Just make sure you simplify it. And before I continue, I will just solve one more method. This method I have just rearranged the second equation and substituted up, isn't it? You can also change it by like this. Say instead of this, you can just add or subtract. Now x and x is same, plus 1x squared plus 1x squared. So I'll just subtract this equation minus. So this entire is minus. So what happens is this minus will be multiplied. So if I just remove the brackets, everywhere you need to change the sign. It will be minus here, it will be plus here, and this will be minus. And let's simplify. This cancels. Here you will have y squared plus y equals positive 2. When you bring it inside, it will become y squared plus y minus 2 equals 0. So this is the same equation we get any method we solve. Okay, this was the same equation, and you can see here Y value was 1, 1 and minus 2, and we got the same x values. So this is how we can easily solve it. So that is system of equations. We will move on now. That's the first answer we got. Root 3, this was wrong. Now we have come to what is the solution set of the following equation. See, sometimes some of these problems can be directly solved and calculated. Let me try this. 4 to the power alpha x. Oh, sorry, this is quadratic. No, you can't solve this in calculator. Directly you can't solve because only one answer might be available. You won't get both the answers. How do you solve such problems? It is again easy. It's simple algebra. So what you need to do is basically here you have 4x squared plus 4x equals 2 power minus 6, right? This base and this base must be same. How can you make that? Now this is already simplified, so leave this 2. But you can see 4 can be written as 2. How? Instead of 4, I can write 2 square, and whatever is the power will be multiplied to this power. X squared plus 4x. Now if you have, say, ax, okay, and I square this. If I square this, it's just going to be a2x. When you square anything, these are multiplied, okay? So now if I have 4x, I can write this as 2 squared the whole power x, or I can just write it as 2 power 2x, okay? This can be written as, so the same thing I'm doing, 2 power 2, and just multiply this. That's the thing what is done. Let me just take that all off. So now what you do over here is, sorry, this is done. So equate it to this side, 2 to the power minus 6. How would you solve it now? The bases are same. You can see this base and this base is same. So equate the powers. Because the bases are same, you can equate the powers. I'll write it over here. 2 into x squared plus 4x equals minus 6. Let me simply bring it to one side. It will be 2x squared plus 8x plus 6 equals 0. Now use quadratic equation to solve it. That is mod phi 3. It is 2, 8 and 6. And the answer is -1 and -3. So this is the answer, not anything else. So both must be negative, and that's the answer. Now if you're thinking, so whenever you have a common multiple, you remove that term out, isn't it? Now when it's all common, you take this 2 out, and then we do x squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. Yes, you can, and this 2 goes to the other side, it becomes 0. So you're remaining with x squared plus 4x plus 3. Usually whenever we have multiples, we simplify this. Yes, absolutely, you can put the same thing over here, mod phi and 3, and let's put 1, 4 and 3. The answer will be the same, -1, -3. It does not matter. So this is how we solve, simple quadratic equation. It's, sorry, exponent problem, but it can be simplified by quadratic equations. So that is the 20th problem. That's the answer, -1, -3. We move on to the next one about relations. This is another easy problem. Relations are very, very easy. All that you should understand is what is domain and range. Okay, so before I solve this problem, let me just draw a graph and let me tell you a little bit about domain and range. So let me just, so this is the y value, this is the x value. The range is always y and domain is the x domain. So now here this is 0. Okay, the important, oh sorry, let me just use this one. So here there is an important thing that you must remember. Whenever a graph is like this is a function. A graph is, say, like this, a linear graph, a quadratic graph, a cubic graph. All these are functions. Okay, But if in case you have a graph, say like this, it repeats, then it's not a function. How do we understand exactly is when there is different x values. So x over here, these all are the x values, right? When the x values are not repeated, see, y values can be repeated. So as long as you have a unique x value over here, sorry, this is not exactly correct because it should not overlap. You must only have one unique x value, okay? That is function. A function means it has unique x values, the domain. Range can overlap, it does not matter. Why? Say now I'm drawing a quadratic, say like this, a quadratic equation. You can see this point and this point. The y value is same, but the x values are different. Each x value is having a different y value. Sorry, is having, yeah, y value, separate y value, okay? It can be the same as this and this point, it's fine. If it's -1 and 1, they're having same y value of 0, that's fine. But this x value is not repeating. So now if it's like this, you should just look at the x values. See, let's see all the x values. Are they repeating? No, they're all unique. Over here, x value, arrows, are they repeating? No, they're all unique. That's fine. But here you see the x value as repeated. This is not a function. Why? Because this will be like a 3. Say this is 3 value. You have one at 2, 1 point, and one more. It's like this, a straight line. That's not a function. You should have like this, even if the slope is very high, but it should not be on the same x value. Now here you can see the 4, -4 is having 2 y values, which is wrong. All the x values must be unique, then and only then you can have it can be called termed as a function. So here you can see this is not, see, this and this is function, first and second, but these two are not functions. I hope this is clear. If you've been asked if a relation is a function, just look into the x coordinates or x values, domain, only one arrow, or the values must not be repeated. That's it. We have another easy problem. We can easily use the calculator to solve this. Here we have to go to mode 5 and 3. And what is this coefficient? It will be 1. The y coefficient is -3. And now make sure this 9 is brought inside. What I mean by it is, it will always be like this. It should be y square minus 3y minus 9 equals 0. You must equate all the terms equal to 0, okay? Then only you can solve. What does this mean? These are the x intercepts, because the y value is 0. Now here it's -3, and lastly we have -9. So the answer is 3 plus 3 root 5. This is wrong, this is wrong. This is the answer. Let's press another one. It's minus, plus or minus. So it is 3 plus or minus 3 root 5 divided by 2. That's the answer, the option A. Now we are going to a probability problem. But this probability over here, okay, this is a little bit of tricky one. So Ahmed and Hamid play tennis each week. The probability that Ahmed wins the first match against Hamid is 2/3. What is the probability that Hamid wins exactly 3 of the next 4 matches against Hamid? Now, there is a formula. I hope I remember it correctly. So the formula is something like this. The probability, okay. I am a little bit rusty about this formula. I know it's about combination problem. Whenever you have probability of certain number of wins out of the total, it's NCR, okay? So NCR. After this, there is an important thing. The wins and the loss. So we generally take it as P and Q. P to the power, say R, and Q to the power n minus R. Okay. Yeah, because when I write it, it just comes to my mind, and this is what is coming to my mind. So this is the formula. See, now I'm a little bit rusty because I've not gone through all these topics in detail, so I can't exactly tell you the exact name of this formula. It is I think so, dependent variables. Yeah, it's about dependent variables, I believe. And what happens is, see, whenever they ask you, when they have given you a probability, see, a probability is given that he is winning or something is happening. So when such probability is given and they are telling certain amount of matches is winning, what is the probability of such instances? You always have to use this formula, where n is the total number whatever is happening. How many total matches are happening? 4. And what is the R? R is the desired probability. How many wins is required? He needs to win 3, right? So R will be 3. And what is this P? P is the probability of him winning, that is 2 by 3. Power R is also 3. Q is the probability of him losing. So 1 minus 2 by 3 is the answer over here. And N is 4 minus R. So let me just write it out. So first of all, P and Q is there, right? P, let it be as probability of winning. So P is given. The probability he wins is given over here. P equals 2 by third. What about Q? Q, let us consider it as 1 minus 2 by third. That is equal to 1/3, 1 by 3. Now all you need to do is substitute over here. N is the total, n is equal to 4, r is this one, r is equal to 3. Now all you need to do is substitute over here. So how do I substitute? N, C, R is 3, and P is given as 2/3. The whole power r is again 3, and Q is 1/3 power n minus r. That's it. All you need to do is put this in the, let's put this all in the calculator. It's 4. Okay, now if you're thinking how to put the permutation combination, you can just type 4. C is over here, shift and this symbol, division. This is the C. R is 3. Multiply it with 2/3. Open the bracket, 2 divided by 3. Close the bracket and take it to the power of 3. And multiply that with the last part, that is 1/3, 1 by 3 to the power 4 minus 3 is 1. So I'll directly write 1. The answer is 32 by 81. That's the answer. So this is how you solve it. You can see it's 32 by 81. So whenever you see such type of problems, when you read the problems, you understand, you should understand, when you read, when you see the problem, it should come to your mind that this is this way to solve. Say for example, when you see this, okay, the probability is given and then 3 matches winnings out of 4 matches. In such cases, you should know this is the formula. Okay. So when you solve more problems, it will naturally come to you. Now we will move to the next problem. Here. Select all values for which m in the following expression is defined. Okay. Defined means which are all possible. For this item, you can select 1, 2, 3 choices. Okay. How do you find what is defined basically? Defined is all the possibility values. Okay, all possible values. What is undefined values? Undefined values are the values which is in the denominator here. Whatever this denominator is equal to 0 is undefined. Now let's just equate this. So I have 3 minus m equals 0. So where is it undefined? When 3 equals m. So this value over here, 3 equals m, is the undefined value. So all I need to do is, you need to find defined value. So avoid this value. Where is 3? Avoid this. All the others are the answers. So that's it. So there are 3 answers in this. Just avoid the undefined value. That is, equate whatever is the denominator, equate it to 0, and you will find the undefined values. Undefined because if you put this in the, see, imagine you substitute 3 over here. What happens? 3 minus 3, it's 0. You cannot divide anything by 0. It's basically undefined or a huge number. So that's why it's undefined at that point. Whereas if you put -3, you will get some answer. You can try this and calculate. If you put 0 or 1, if you put any of these values, you'll get some of the answer, some answer, you know. So those are defined, whereas 3 would give you undefined in your calculator. It'll show a math error. So that's the thing. Now we will move to the next one. Again, another very easy problem. You can't directly solve this in calculator. Imagine you put this in calculator, square root -300. It shows you a math error. Why? Because you can't have negative inside the square root, isn't it? So just put square root 300. It shows it's 10 root 3. But remember, this negative root negative would mean I. So you should just add an I. It's very straightforward. Just put 300 and then whatever is there, put an I. So this is the correct answer. You can see all the others are wrong. 10 I root 3. That would be the correct answer. So that's it. And we will move on to the 26th one. Okay. Okay, this is an interesting problem, but there are shortcuts to solve this. Let us look into this. It tells point A 3,4, B 4,3, and C 2,1 are graphed. Okay, you can see in the graph, these are all the points. Now, what are the coordinates of B dash C dash after line BC undergoes dilation centered at point A? Okay, with the scale factor 2. Now it is very important to understand the dilation is happening from here. So, sorry, let me just take that off. So now imagine if I draw, okay, you can, anyways, this is the line and this one, okay? Okay, it's just bad. Okay, what I want to say is, see now this line is there, right? This and this, sorry, this line. These both are being dilated. Whatever is the distance A to C is being dilated with the center A. That means the new point C dash will be exactly twice, if this is say some distance, will be exactly twice over here. And the same thing with B. If this is the distance, it will be somewhere over here. How do we do it? One thing is, if you look carefully, this is moving 1 to the left, 3 down, 1 2 3. You can do the same thing because it's scale factor 2. From here it's 1, again 1 more, it will be 2. So all you need to do is move this 1 to the left and 1 2 3. This would be your point. So that is 1 and -2. So 1 comma -2. So this is 1 point. What about this B? You can see it's like this, so it will be like this over here. 1 right, 1 down, 1 right, 1 down. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 comma 2. So these must be the points. So let's see, 5 comma 2 and 1 comma -2. This will be the answer. Okay, now there is other ways to do it. The long way is, I wouldn't do that. Personally, I would never do that. You should find the distance over here. Whatever is the distance, you need to find again the distance and come over here. You will know that's the distance, so you can find the coordinates. That's a very tricky one. But directly from the coordinates, given coordinates, you can also find it. How do we do that is, now, see what's the difference from A to B. It's added by 1, right? So you need to just add 1 more plus 1. So it is 5. And now see what's the difference from 4 to 3. It's subtracted by 1. So again -1 here, it will be 2. So 5 and 2 will be one coordinate point. Now what's happening with A and C? So A to C is again subtracted by 1. So again -1, you will get 1. And what is happening from 4 to 1? Now this is important. There is a subtraction by 3. So subtracted by -3 here, it'll be -3 plus 1 will be -2. So these will be the new coordinates and we can check them. 5 2 1 -2. Yes, they are the same points. However you do graph or directly, you will get the same thing. Here the most important thing is the scale factor is 2. So I'm just multiplying, from here to here, what's happening? -1. So just multiply this by 2, so it'll be minus 2 basically from year to year. If it was 5, what do you do? So you know it's reducing by 1, so you need to reduce 4 more because its scale factor is 5. Depending on the scale factor, you can easily change it up. Okay, so whatever is happening, you need to multiply it by 2, so we get this. So continuing. Now, if it was 5, you will have a simple scale factor, not to worry. So if it was, say, 3, this would be another down, okay? It would have gone 1, 1, 2, 3 again. So that's how we can easily find it. So the answer is first one. And now we go to the 27th problem. And they have asked you about a circle. Among all the conic sections, circle is the easiest of all. That's what I feel. Circle. Now I will tell you a easy method to see over here. See, you can easily find the answer if you know the standard form. So standard form is something like this. The center, whatever is the center, sorry, let me just use this. The center is generally given as h and k of this, the center. And now here the standard form is given as x minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square equals r square. This is the standard form. All you need to do is, what is h? Minus the plus 3, so it will become x minus 3 here. Only h will become 3. And what about this? It's minus 1, so minus and minus it becomes plus 1. What is the r? Radius is given as root 6. So root 6 the whole square becomes 6 basically, okay? So let's see, x minus 3, this is wrong, this is correct, this is wrong. X minus 3, this or this. Now what about this? Y plus 1, yes, this or this. Now it's a root 6 the whole square, so it should be 6. So this is the correct answer. This is wrong because it is having 36. That's it. So this is how you can easily solve it if you know the formula for the circles. So this is the standard form of the circle basically. Now then we will move on to the next one. The first one is very simple. See, this is just over here because the minus is there in the standard form of the circle, x minus h, that is the center. Always remember the center must be given, x value of the center over here. And this minus will change its sign. If it's minus, it becomes plus. If it's plus here, it becomes minus. And root 6 becomes whole square, so it's just 6, not 36. Root 6 the whole square is 6. Now we have, okay, this is a statistics problem. We must know the normal distribution over here. The normal distribution table looks like this. You can see this one. In general, whatever is the mean, what is the mean over here given to us? It's 168, isn't it? So this is the middle one, okay, from here. So that is the mean. Now, it is said that with one standard deviation, that is 2.5, right? One standard deviation, it would be so much over here and so much here, right? That would cost all the 68% of the data, okay? That will, from the mean, now what is the mean over here? It's 168 given, 168 given over here. From this, if you add 2.5 right side, plus 2.5, and even over here you should just minus 2.5. That would be 68% of the data. So what would be this value? So it would be about 2.5 is removed. It's 165.5, and this would be 170.5. So these data are covered over here. But if you go another standard deviation, one more over here and one more left side, what happens is you need to add again 2.5 over here plus 2.5. That would mean it is 173, and over here it would mean it is 163. So basically two standard deviations from the mean. Since 2.5 is the standard deviation over here, you can just add 5 minus 5. It'll be 163, 173. That would give you 95% of the data. See, this much. is the 95% of the data. And it's mentioned even in this normal distribution table. And that is what we want. What is the range? So from 163 to 173 is the range for 95% of the data. See, let's see which is the option. The first one, 163 to 173. So you should know the normal distribution table for this particular problem. So that's how we solve this. If you just recall this normal distribution table, mean it's in the middle. If you go one standard deviation left or right plus one standard deviation, the mean is m, add one standard deviation, subtract one standard deviation, you get 68% of the data. If you add two standard deviation to mean, right and left, and two if you subtract, you will get 95%. Whereas if you want 99.7% will always be 3 standard deviation, add and subtract. So that's how we solve this. We will move on to the next one. Select all true statements. Okay, let's look at them one by one. Since 13.1 is terminating decimal, it is rational. Yes, what is rational numbers which do not have, continuous numbers like the repeating decimals basically, or the numbers which just don't stop, irrational numbers. So this stops 13.1 is a rational number because it can be written as a fraction ratio of 131 by 10. It is irrational. Yes, this is correct. Since 14 by 4 is a ratio of two integers, it is rational. Yes, whenever you can write numbers in ratio, it is rational. Yes. I mean, yeah, to ratio of two integers. Yes, correct. This is correct. Since 7 is not a perfect square, root 7 is rational. What you can do is, okay, this is wrong. It should be rational. What you can do is you can use your calculator here and let's just try. Root 7, it's irrational. See now, here, it just doesn't stop. So it keeps on going. That means it's irrational, okay? It's not rational. This is wrong. Since 16 is a perfect square, it's irrational. Wrong. 16 is a perfect square. Yes, correct. It's 4. So it's a rational number. It stops. It's a whole number. Now, since 5.84, this line means it keeps on repeating. 5.848484 is a repeating decimal. It is rational. Wrong. This is a irrational number because it's repeating. Only the first two are correct. This is rational and this is also rational. Yes, all the others are wrong. So go one by one, eliminate the wrong ones and keep the correct ones. Now the graphs for L1 and L2 are shown below. How is the system of equation classified? Now you need to remember a few things. If you have two lines, say parallel lines like this, they're never going to touch each other. They are inconsistent. There is no solution, okay? They are inconsistent. So, sorry, it should be parallel like this. They never touch. This is wrong. Now, if they're consistent and independent, they are basically two lines touching like this, whereas consistent and dependent is basically same line. They are overlapping, okay? The two lines are the same line, same equation. Or if you have 2y equals 2x plus 3 and you have 2y equals 4x plus 6. I've just multiplied 2 over here. If I divide all the terms by 2, I'm going to get the same equation. So when you graph this, it's going to be something like this. It's both the equations are the same thing. They're just overlapping. So in such cases, they're dependent and they're consistent. Consistent means you will have solution. Your infinite solution in this, and it's dependent. So please remember 3 sets. Consistent, independent means like this. When you have only one solution and these lines are never going to touch again each other. So that this is consistent, independent. Inconsistent means parallel lines, they'll never touch each other. And consistent, dependent means two same equations, they are overlapping each other. So that's the answers. Here now, before we solve the next problem, let's look into a few of these conic section formulas. We had seen okay, sorry, this is minus over here, this is minus. Okay, I just made it worse. Okay, this is supposed to be minus, okay? This is x minus h the whole square plus y minus k the whole square equals r squared. We had done this for the circles formula already. Now ellipsis is given by x minus h the whole square by a square plus y minus k the whole square by b square equals 1. Even hyperbola will be equal to 1. The only difference is over here, h and k. Here it is, so the first one we'll consider. We will just have these both. Generally, we don't get these. So it is h and k, but what's the difference? This is minus, okay? And this changes. We will see in detail if the problem comes. Parabola is having only one square. It's only x square or y square. All the others have both of them squared. So if you know these relationship, if you can easily understand, circles won't have anything divided by, whereas ellipses must have one and divided by, and both x and y are squared. Even over here there is only one term squared. It can be only either x squared and y will be alone, or y squared and x will be to the power 1. So now with this knowledge we can easily solve this problem. Just looking at it, look over here, what would be this answer? It can't be a circle. There's no x square y square because it's x is single term. It can't be a ellipse. Why? Because there is no x square. It can't be a hyperbola because there is no x square. So what is remaining? It can only be a parabola. So you don't even need to solve this. But if you want to solve this, you can complete the square. Over here, you need to do completing the square, and you will get y plus the number, the whole square, and it will be a parabola because y will be in terms of square and x goes to the other side. So it will be this form. Okay, x equals a into y minus some term, the whole square plus h. So we can write this equation in that form, and it is a parabola. So you don't even need to solve it directly, you can guess it out. Now here, which graph represents the function y equals minus cot pi x by 2? Now there are various ways to graph because there is trigonometric graphing. So in that, the detailed versions of graph is explained, but I will tell you a shortcut method for all the graphs. All graphing can be easily done by a shortcut method. Here we need the calculators. Now please note, if it is cot, you can't see cot over here, or if it is cosecant, you can't see that, or secant. You must know the reciprocal functions. Now if you remember, say I have cot is equal to 1 by tan, or if it is secant, that is equal to 1 by cos, and cosecant is 1 by sine. So these are the reciprocal functions. Over here it will be theta, x, anything, okay? So just accordingly. Now here we will use this, cot is 1 by tan. Now in this case, because tan has undefined values at certain points, you may not get all the correct points, okay? Especially when you do the axes or the asymptotes, you will not get the answers. But you will definitely get these values over here, okay? So what you basically do is just choose points in each graph. So what I'll start is, I will start typing this equation over here. This is important. Now over here, the left side, I'm going to use cot is equal to 1 by tan. So it's minus, let me just put minus 1 by tan. Sorry, it's tan. Now, since it's in pi, I will just change it to radians, shift mode and 4. Now nothing is in degrees, it's in radians, right? So I've changed it to radians, that's fine. Now I have pi, shift and this symbol, divided by 2. And what is x? X is any value over here, the x value. So I'll start with half, okay? Because if I have half, I can easily eliminate one of these graphs. So I'll take 0.5. What is the answer? Minus 1. Let me see. When x is half, what is the y value? Minus 1. Yeah, minus 2.5. It's minus 1. So this is correct. What about this? Half, it shows plus 1. This is wrong. B is wrong. Now let us check these two values. So now this is okay. You can try some other values as well. Say 7.5, it gives you negative 0.41. So 7.5 is somewhere over here. Yeah, somewhat right. Okay, now we will see this one. Let's go with, say, this is pi by 4, so this is pi by 2. Let me take pi by 2. Over here, all I do again is shift pi by 2. It shows 1.25. Let me check. Over here, this is 2, this is 1, so pi by 4, pi by 2 is 1.25. No, it's wrong. Let me check pi by 4 because it's much easier to understand that. Pi by 4. What is the answer? It's minus 3.5. Let's see. No, it's above. It should be positive. This is wrong. This graph is wrong. Let's see this. Pi by 4 must be middle over here. It's 0. It's wrong. Pi by 2, if I just now took, it was 1.25. So this is also wrong. So which is the correct graph? Only this graph. So here, let me take 3 by 2. 3 by 2. What's the answer? It's 1. Yes, it's correct. I avoid these axes because you'll get undefined values and these asymptotes. So you can see the four graphs, choose the correct options and easily you will get it. So that's the thing. Instead of making the table, just put the values and check the four graphs and eliminate the wrong ones. This is how we can easily solve these graphs. Next would be this is the answer, the first one, because all the others did not match. Next is the period. Okay, period of the trigonometric functions. Now, this is a formula. I hope you remember the formula because I just can't remember it properly. It is, this is required. B pi by 2b, I guess. Okay, let me just try pi by 2b. When, there are so many formulas, it just comes to the mind. If you practice it every now and then, it'll come to your mind during the exam, don't worry. But it's better to revise all the formulas. There are so many, I know. But this one is about trigonometry period, so let's only focus on period. Period is given by, let me just change it over here. Period is given by pi by 2b. This is what I feel. Okay, b is this value over here. Now 2 pi by b, I think so, it's 2 pi by b, sorry. Period is 2 pi, yeah, because it's 2 pi divided by b. Yes, for sine it is 2 pi by b. Pi by b is for tan. Yes, now it's coming to my mind properly. For sine and cos, it's given by this formula here, 2 pi by b. What is b? B is the value inside sine, inside the bracket of sine, but before x, the coefficient of x. So over here, all I need to do is, this is 2 pi as it is. What is b? It is 3 by 2. So what happens is 2 goes up, so it will become 2 pi by 3 multiplied by 2. It is equal to 4 pi by 3. So this is the answer, or you can just use calculator. So the answer is the first one. So it is 2 pi by b, and that is the period, the formula for period of a trigonometry for sine and cos. So this is the thing. So just remember the formula. Please go through all the formulas before the exam and solve more problems. You will be, well versed with it. So this is the correct answer. So it's all about the formula. Period formula is 2 pi by b, and that's it. If you're getting confused over here, just use the calculator. 2 divided by 3 by 2, it would be 4 by 3, and pi remains. Now we have a problem about dilation again. They have told triangle ADE is the image of triangle ABC after dilation of a scale factor K centered with origin. Okay, which statement is true? Okay, they have given a lot of statements. We have to consider which is the correct statement. Let's go from bottom. Now, by now you might have figured all the answers are the first one, A. This is the model paper. In my next coming problems, it won't be the same. I will make sure it's all mixed up. And this one, for the since it was a model paper, it was there. But I will be doing much more videos and much other extra papers as well in the coming days, and I'll try to solve each one of them. Yeah, so that's that. But for this one, I know this is the correct answer, so let me go from the bottom. 2 times AB equals AD. Let's see. 2 times AB, this is AB, equals AD. Is that correct? No, it can't be, because dilation scale factor is not given. It can be anything, right? So in this case, it seems like 2 times AB equals AD. But what if the dilation factor was so much more, 3, K is equal to 3? Then it would be 3 times AB equals AD, right? It varies. So you can't consider this to be true. Let's see. AD is perpendicular to DE. The line AD is perpendicular to DE. Interesting. But we can't 100% say that, because this is dilation. If the see, we have not been told what's the angle away exactly, so the dilation doesn't impact that at all, to be very honest, so we can't say that. Whereas over here, AC equals CE, no, that is also wrong, because dilation can be anything, so the original image will be standard fixed, the other images keep on changing. BC is perpendicular to D. See, now this can be always true. Why? Because we are starting from the origin A, right? So from here, doesn't matter what happens, these lines will always be parallel. Yes, absolutely. You can see these parallel lines as it grows. See, if it goes down as well, this will always be parallel to this. Okay, that doesn't change. So that's the answer. Okay. And we are moving to the last problem. Okay, it is about different data. Now, I want you to remember this. If the scale is nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval, or ratio. Why? Because, see, the next problem is about statistics, but they're asking which type of data is this, okay? I want you to just go through this. You can pause the video and go through this, then I'll start explaining. If you see the nominal is the least sophisticated data, you can say, because over here they have numbers have been assigned to runners. See, they can be various things, numbers, or say gender or something like that, which is just arbitrary. It doesn't give you more value. It just tells you this is your denotation, that's it. Or say medals or something like that. It doesn't have a quantifying ability, like much quantifying ability. So just a number is assigned, that's it, just to differentiate it. That is nominal data. Whereas ordinal would have a specific value. So now there are 3 runners, the first place, the second place, the third place. You're giving a certain place. There's a hierarchy. So that is ordinal. Whereas interval would be in a certain scale, the values in a certain scale, say performing rating. So you're giving a rating from 0 to 10. So the first place, yes, he won the first place, but over here we don't have any extra data than winning the first place. But here you can see the first place was won by 9.6 seconds, the second place was 9.1, and the third place was by 8.2. Whereas in ratio, which is the most sophisticated, like most favorable one, because it is highly employable, is you have maximum usage of this. Say over here, time to finish. Now this is the time which was required to finish the race. So this is not the rating given, it's not marks or something, it's the exact time they used. Say they ran a lap, say 100 meters race, so they took 13, this person took 13.4 seconds, this person took 14.1. It can be any data, it can be 0, 1, 2, anything. So this is the most sophisticated data. Over here, it's basically a scale range. Over here, this is just a assigned place, and this is just a denotation, nothing else. Okay, the first one, nominal. Now here, let's see, identify the statistical data type for the following variable. A medal won at the Olympics. A medal won, gold, silver, bronze, or none. Now, it's You might think, okay, gold is the highest, silver is the second highest. No, whatever is value assigned, that is later part. It's just a nominal one over here, because if it was first, second, third, that would specify something. We know that gold, silver, bronze is yes, first, second, third, but generally this medals or any tags or a number like this, if you're running, you have a number back on your back, all that is nominal data. Whereas if it was first, second, third, it would be ordinal data. Interval would be, rating given from marks, say marks and stuff. And ratio would be any number, any specific number, the time taken or anything. So here the answer is nominal. That's the answer. And that's the end of the first model paper on EmSAT. There were only 35 questions. I will do many others as well, but please do try to understand the concept, because similar problems will be there. The values will change. You may not get the same problems, but the values will be different. But you will find, the pattern or the type similar. If you understand the concept, you can easily solve any problem. So make sure you write and solve the problems. Make sure you spend time writing and solving more problems. That will really help you. I wish you the very best if you're writing your MSATs this month, anytime, It's better to prepare, or just for your knowledge purpose, it'll just help you even for your exams. So, all the best for this. And this is my channel, Best Math. If you have found anything useful in this channel, do consider subscribing subscribing is free, but it would mean so much to me. And do share it with your friends if anyone is writing MSAT, or anyone would, find my videos helpful, all the math videos, the lesson videos. Please do share it with your friends. It would mean so much to me. And if you have any doubts, please do post them in the comments, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much, and happy learning. Bye bye.